Hello, welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. In our last lesson of the Hebrew alphabet, we went from letter Zayin all the way down to the Mem and final Mem. And today we will continue with the rest of the letters. But first, let's quickly recap what we've done, what we've learned in our last lesson. So we had the letter Zayin sound Z, like English Z, Za, and Ze. Okay. Then we had Chet, Chet, kind of scratching the throat, Ch sound. Then we had Tet, T, T, Ta, Ti, and then we had Yud, which also is doing the sound E, T, used as a vowel, letter Yud. Yud could be also just a line like this. Letter Yud, vowel Y, E. So this is T, and this is T, and this is T. So it can stack up. The vowel, the nikud, chirik, simply a dot, and the letter Yud have the same purpose, and they can even appear together. It wouldn't make a difference, right? So we would read it the same. After which we had the letter Kaf that is appearing with the dot in the middle to sound like K, Kaf, Ka, Ki, and what is this? Ko. And without a dot, Chaf, same as Chet, same sound, Cha, Cha, Chi, Chi. Okay. Now, and with a Chaf, we introduced the new concept of final letters. Chaf is one of the letters that has a final form, which basically all final forms in printed version are, it just looks like we took the bottom part of the letter and just kind of twisted it down. So we end up with something like this, right? This bottom part. Yeah? So from this to this. And this is the final Chaf. So we don't have a final Kaf with a dot. We only have a final Chaf. No dot. Okay? So this will end in Ch. Ch. Okay, after which we had the letter Lamed and letter Mem, which also has a final form, Mem Sofit. Final Mem. Okay, great. Let's try reading something, okay? Oop. Okay, so what do we see here? First letter, this is a Kaf, right? And is it a K sound or a Ch sound? Well, dot inside, it's a K. Great. So K, and then we have the Segol, E sound, K, and then Lamed with a Tsere, it's the same sound, also E, so Ke, Le, V, V. So it's not a B, this is the letter Bet, but no dot, so the sound is V. Kelev, Kelev, Kelev. Kelev means dog. Okay, and if we do This is lev. Lev. Lev is heart. Okay. Let's continue. So after the letter mem and final mem, we have the letter nun. Nun, which looks a bit like a kaf, but these lines are the top line is shorter. Okay, some people don't even draw it at all. This is actually also the handwritten, the cursive version, but for now we will write it just smaller. Letter nun sound is n, nun. Na, ni, ne, nun. And this letter also has a final form. We took this, we pushed it down, and we are left with just a long line. Long line. Sometimes we can draw this, sometimes not, but basically it's just a long line. So this is the final nun. So now if we write the whole letter, the name of the letter, the sound of the letter is n. This is the sound of the letter. The name of the letter is nun. And we have the knowledge to write the name of the letter, right? Nun. Nun looks like this. Nun. Can add the little hat to the nuns of it and the vav if I would like to. Like so. Nun. Right? So this is a nun, this is the letter nun, and we have a vav with a dot on the left, sound is oo, and a final nun, of course. Will we write it like this? The answer is no, we will never write it like this because we cannot have a letter that has a final form as our last letter and not use our final form. Therefore, we cannot write this word. Right? We have to use the final form, if we have one, as the final letter. Okay. Until this point, you might have noticed we have quite a few letters that look just like a line, and it could be a bit confusing. Let's take a moment to look at these letters. So we had the yud, and for this example, I will just draw it in the cursive form, just as a line with no line on top. So we have the yud, then we have the vav, right? Then we have the final nun. All look just like a line, and the difference between the three is only the vav is the normal size of a letter, right? In the context of a word, it will look like this, right? So only the vav is in the normal size of the letters, normal size of the line that you will get in a notebook, for example. The yud is a really small letter, the smallest, and the nun is a final letter, so it goes under the line, like all other final letters, except for mem, which is just a box, final mem. So let's get these letters together in a context of a specific word to see how they kind of act together. Okay, and how we can identify easily between those three. So let's see, what can we do here? Okay, so I wrote here a word. This is an actual word. It looks like this. Without Nikud, it's even more funny looking, but with Nikud, let's try it. Okay, let's attempt reading it. So we already have the tools to read it, so let's go ahead. Firstly, we have the letter Yud with a kamatz a sound, right? So Yud by itself is Y, and we add the a sound. We have Y, a, ya, right? First letter, then vowel together, ya. So we have ya, and then we have the vav. Now tell me, is this the o, the u, or the v? If you said it's the v, you would be correct, because there is no dot on the left, there is no dot on the top, there is only a normal nikud underneath, meaning it's the consonant, it's the normal letter, it's not a vowel, so it reads out as v, v. And since we do have a nikud, also is a, together it's va. So we have ya, va, n, n. Final nun, yavan, yavan, yavan. Yavan means Greece, the country, Greece. All right, so this is how it is. Shouldn't be too confusing. You'll get used to it. Yavan, Greece. Let's keep going. So the next letter after nun, we have one of my personal favorite letters. It is samech. Samech. And it looks a bit like a final mem. Sorry. A bit like a final mem, but it's not a box. In the printed version, it looks a bit more like a shield, right? So kind of round at the bottom, but the top line is straight. And in the cursive version, it is simply a circle. A circle, all right? So the way to distinguish between that and final mem is a box. And samech, in both cases, is either more rounded or completely a circle. So we have the final, no final, just a normal samech. By itself, it is the sound s, s, sa, si, su. Okay. Now I have a question, and let's try giving you a challenge. How would you read this letter plus vowel? If you are thinking you're out of your mind, we have never learned something like that, you would be correct. Because this is a new vowel, a new nikud that I would like to introduce. This is the kubutz. Kubutz. And like the ku, the sound is u. But Andre, don't we have already a sound u? Well, yes, we do. We have the vav with the dot on the left also making the sound u. So this is su, and this is su, and this is su. So this is another thing to remember. Kubutz, sound u. Okay, next letter on our list is ein. Ein. Okay. Letter ein, sometimes also written like this. Yeah? So letter ein, sound a. A bit like aleph and hey. We have the letter ein. But hey, with hey, the difference is we have more air coming out. So aleph, a, and here it's ha, more air, ha. With the ein, it's kind of hard to describe, but the sound is a bit more Middle Eastern. This is not exactly a, but it's more of a ah, 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 ah. For example, let's read this word. So we have the a and then I, n, ein. And it's actually the name of the letter, but also it means, I'm gonna make an attempt at drawing here. I, whoops, is ein. Now, notice it's not ein, but it's ein. Now, traditionally, when people speak nowadays, they don't really pronounce the ein so much, and usually people pronounce it just as if it were a normal aleph. So, if you pronounce it as ein correctly or ein, doesn't really make much of a difference, because again, with time, language changes, the way people pronounce things changes. Nowadays, people pronounce it just as if it was an aleph, but if you want to speak especially in a correct manner, with a more correct way, you can pronounce it ein. Okay, let's keep going. Next letter is pay, and this one, notice it has a dot. Pay, sound p. It has a dot, and without a dot, the sound is f. Yeah? So with a dot, p, without a dot, f. How would we read this one or this one? So we have the p, and the nikud is e, together is pe, and how do we pronounce the hey? Correct trick question, we don't pronounce it because it's at the end of the word and it's just there as a space filler to not end the word with a vowel. So pe means mouth. Pe. Okay, now so we said this is p sound, without a dot is f, and without the dot we have a final form. So if you'd had to guess, if you would not see this chart and I would tell you to guess based on what we've learned, I hope you already will know that the way to draw this final fe, so we take this line, we twist it, and we make it continue this to one straight line to go under the lines of the notebook, right? Go here. So it looks like this. This is the final fe, so the sound is f. We don't have a final pay. We don't have it. Just f. Fe. And this word is af. Af is nose. Nose is af. What about this? Af. Af. Af is fly or flying. Flying is af. Okay, let's take it even a bit further. Oh. Okay, let's try it. So, and this is a challenge I don't think we had before. We have a hey, and then we have a aleph. So hey, as we will soon learn, we have some letters that have a special ability, and they act as a whole separate word, right? We will learn about it soon, but for now let's speak about hey. Hey, when it appears as the first letter of the word, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it acts as the word, English word, the something. Okay, pretty simple. But the trick is in pronunciation, right? It's important to distinguish when this aleph is silent and when it's not. We have a vowel underneath it, so we already are getting a clue that it is not silent. It is actually crucial to the pronunciation of the word. So it's important again to distinguish and to practice saying the letter ha and saying the letter ah, right? Let's try it a few times. Let's say this hey 5 times together with the nikud. Ha, 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 ha. Now let's say aleph with the nikud 5 times. Ah, 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 ah. Let's say the ain with the nikud 5 times. Ah, 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 ah. Okay, great. So again, make sure in words like this, where it's pretty clear that the aleph has a role and it's not just silent, you have to separate the hey from the aleph. You have to pronounce both. Let's try this word. And it's easiest, always remember, it's easiest if you break the word down and just read part by part. By that I mean letter by letter. Letter, vowel, then proceed. Letter, vowel, then proceed. Alright? So let's give it a go. So if we just focus on this here, ha, as we said, ha. Right? We have a hey, we have an ah sound, together ha. Then we have an aleph with an ah sound. This is simply ah. So together, ha, ah. Ha, ah. And this is a final fei, final pei, final fei. Sound is f, f. So all together it's ha, ah, f, ha'af, ha'af, ha'af. Okay, let's continue. Then we have the ain, ah, and again final fei, f, af, af. So the both of the words together, ha'af, af, ha'af, af, ha, the, af, nose, af, flying. Ha'af, af, the nose is flying. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but it sure is good practice. Okay, let's keep going to the last letter we have today, which is the tzadik. Tzadik or tzadi looks like this. Okay, not to be confused with the ain, which looks like this, or like this, or like this, right? So with the tzaddik, it's pretty distinctive, right? We have this kind of lesser than or greater than sign, and a small line, a small branch coming off of it, right? As if it was a branch from a tree. Okay. So letter tzadik, tzadik. This letter doesn't exist in English, but you can make this sound. T, 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 sounds like somebody is lighting a match or a lighter. Ts, ts, ts. If you're a musician, this is like the snare sound, the drum snare. Ts, ts. In English, if I would try to write the equivalent, it will be T and S, or T and Z. Ts, ts. Okay, so remember it. The tzaddik is T plus S. Ts. In this case, we also have a final form. Looks like this. Okay. Ts. Perfect. Well, this is all for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we went from the letter Nun all the way down to Tzaddik. And we also learned the sound, the nikud of kubutz, which makes the sound U. Okay, let's try one final word just to end this on a small challenge. Okay, I have it. Okay, let's give it a go. It's quite of a hard word for us, but we already learned all of these letters and we are able to read this. So let's give it a go. Firstly, the first letter is the letter we just now learned. It's tzaddik, tzaddik, ts, and we have a chirik underneath it. Chirik, one dot, sound is E, so we have ts and E together. Tzi, tzi, perfect. After which we have the letter Yud with no vowel, no nikud. So the Yud acts as a vowel. So if we didn't have this nikud here, we would read it tzi. We would use this Yud as the vowel for this tzaddik, tzi. Since we have this chirik, what do we do differently? Nothing. We don't do anything differently because nikud and a vowel letter can stack up, no problem, doesn't make a difference. So this is still just tzi. Together it's just tzi. Doesn't make a difference that there is two time yud. This is tzi. Next letter, this is the letter lamed, sound is l, and then we have these three dots, the vowel U, right? We've learned it today. U, together. Lu, lu. Okay, and we progress. We have this vav. Which sound does this vav makes? Is it a vowel or is it the consonant? If you said the vowel, you are correct, and the sound is a dot to the left. Sound is U. So we have the lamed of the lu and then U again. But as I said, this and this is the same. So it doesn't really make a difference. I could have given up on those or giving up on that would have made the same sound. So this together is lu. And then finally, what do we have here? Is this a samech? No, this is a final mem. Sound m. M. So we have tzi, lu, m. Tzilum. 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 Tzilum is photography. Photography. Tzilum. Well done on improving your level and getting to this almost at the end of the whole alphabet. We have only one more lesson to complete the whole thing, and you are doing fantastically. Well done for getting this far, and you got this. Only one more lesson. You are doing fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me, and see you soon. Bye.